So I think we can kind of agree that the red pill phase in human society has lost its influence. As days go by, we're starting to see a lot of the key figures in the red pill community either be exposed for fraudulent or hypocritical behavior, or they're just being deplatformed and or they get caught in some type of controversy. And I know we're celebrating this and saying yes, finally, all the cringy takes, all the really bad, abhorrent advices that have been given to young men are finally going to kind of diminish or disappear. But what I've realized is that you know this whole idea of the red pill is kind of like the Hydra. Chop off one head, two more will grow. And yeah, I don't think we'll ever be able to kind of get rid of the red pill ideology, I suppose. I don't think bad advices to young men will stop, but it made me realize something that young men today virtually have no good role models. And I say this because it, like what? Let's say 2, 3 years ago, Andre Tate and the people at Fresh and Fit, there was this other dude who showed up as well. I can't remember their name. These guys all came up and they all started spouting about, being responsible, taking accountability, stop being emotional. They perpetuate themselves to be these noble people, right? People with virtues and people who do things that are meant to be right, or at least encouraging a good aspect of masculinity. And for the most part, if you look at it at just bare minimum, like just on the outside of it, they weren't giving bad advices, right? They're just telling men to take accountability of the situations that they're in. Don't blame, your environment too much. A lot of it can also be your own fault, the decisions that you make, and your own character. That's fine. But what I've noticed, and I think we've all have kind of picked up on this, is that every single thing that the red pill community has ever criticized women of doing, of not doing, every character traits that women tend to have, they all emulated that to a T. It was a one to one. A lot of them were very emotional people. A lot of them didn't like the idea of women kind of talking back to them. A lot of them couldn't take responsibility for the shit that they spurted out. There was just so much hypocrisy in the red pill community. And, obviously most of us kind of saw through that very easily. But a lot of young men who really needed some type of guide, some type of manual, to put it that way, to help them navigate their own lives, didn't see that. They were too desperate to look for something that would make them feel good about themselves. And it really just came down to this is a channel that is dedicated in just shitting on women, just consistently making women seem like this ever living slut. Like that's all she could ever be. Like, they can never be loyal. They can never be this, and that. They belong to the streets, and then they would. Okay, so this is the biggest example of this, and I don't understand how a lot of people couldn't see it from the very beginning. They will condemn women for being sluts and for sleeping for different men, right? And they will make them seem like, if you have more than this amount of numbers on you, you belong to the streets and you're no longer marriageable, right? Okay, cool. But then they will go out of their way to create channels where they tell men you have to sleep around. You have to build up your number count because women don't like sleeping with guys who don't have high numbers, I suppose, or basically a virgin, right? But it's like, okay, you're sending men out there to create these quote unquote sluts, right? But then when it comes down to getting married, settling down, having children, all of a sudden, all the women that you've damaged throughout your escapade to acquire your masculinity or whatever, you've now destroyed them for the other men who could possibly have wanted to marry them or whatever the case may be, right? Yeah, I think it's no more like if you're going to have an issue with women sleeping around and acquiring numbers, like they're fucking Pokemon trainers, gotta catch them all, right? The least you can do is actually live the life that you want to have, right? Live the life that you're preaching about. A lot of them cannot do that. They simply cannot. And if you call them out on this, they get offended, they get mad, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. I'll give you one example of this, right? Let's say you are a man and you are a Christian man, right? And you want to marry a virgin woman who's also a Christian, right? You would not be out in the streets banging 25 girls on 1 month or whatever the case may be, and then turn around and expect your wife to still be a virgin. I mean, you don't have the card, you don't have the, you know, I don't know what the word I wanted to say, but you just don't have the qualifications to say that shit. That's my biggest issue with the red pill community. It's like they preach a lot of these one-sided arguments, but they can't even back it up themselves. And I'm kind of glad now that the red pill phase is slowly diminishing and a lot of the influences are kind of waning, because it was never going to last, to be fair. It really wasn't. Because all they do is just, oh my god. See, how do I put this? It's like they're not wrong in some things. There are certain things that are just undeniable, right? Undeniable truths. Women do like men who are taller. Women are becoming more hypergamous. They are dating upwards, and they have complained themselves that they cannot find men suitable for marriage or suitable for dating. These things are true, but you cannot be out here then doing the exact same thing, right? Sleeping around, complaining about things, and then expect women to be the same. It's just not going to work. But yeah, that's just my thoughts and opinion on it. I don't know if there's going to be another person that's going to be replacing people like Andrew Tate, people like Fresh and Fit. But because we saw that they were making so much money from this, and so many young boys and men were donating to them, giving them money and all that stuff, somebody's going to prop up. Somebody's going to be the next face of the red pill community to cash it in. And with that being said, I like to be that candidate. I will be the new red pill face. I will be the one to spew more toxic stuff into the community because I feel like I need that money and I deserve. I'm just joking. That'd be funny. But yeah, no. That's just my thoughts and opinion on it. Yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.